bit about the symptoms and causes of PCOS and how it is that, from a nutritionist as well as from a dermatologist point of view, those can be diagnosed and then further assessed. In this video, we're going to be talking about the correlation between acne and PCOS, and yet again, we have Dr. Jayashree Sharad and Neha Ranglani who are going to tell us how this can be treated holistically from a 360-degree point of view, and as well, of course, through other treatments, which are topical and something that can be done in a dermat's clinic only. I have had acne issues and I've had both of you guys assist me over a period of time through that, so I do understand that what point of view and what approach is required. I would love for you guys to share it with our audiences today. So let me start off by, Dr. Jayashree, you telling us a bit about acne and PCOS.
Yeah. So one of the most important symptoms that you often see, or rather the first symptoms that you see is acne. And you typically have cystic acne, these large ones. Sometimes they are bumps, just people come and say they're within the skin, they're not coming out. So, and sometimes they're very, very painful. Typically sometimes along the jawline and chin. And then you see a little bit of coarse hair. So, when you have this combination and the patient is also saying that I'm losing hair and there's thinning, you put that two and two together and say, this is PCOS, right? Now, of course, as I mentioned earlier, a holistic approach is very important. So, I would guide them a little about exercise, diet, no sugar, no dairy. I would tell them that all of us have stress, but you need to learn to cope with stress. Okay, you need to sleep on time. So don't say, I'm sleeping at 2 a.m. and waking up at 2 p.m. and sleeping for 12 hours, but you're not following your circadian rhythm. So it doesn't work. The body gets completely confused. So you tell them all of that, and then you put them into a proper skincare routine. I also make it a point to analyze and see if they need the help of an endocrinologist or a gynecologist, and I 9 out of 10 times send them to a nutritionist for a proper diet, and so Neha will tell us what she does, but that's what I do. As far as skincare is concerned, a good face wash which either has salicylic acid or tea tree oil or grapeseed extract, which will help to unclog the pores and cleanse from within. Not something creamy, something oil based, no face oils, much as they are great for skin, but any of these creamy, oily products can, even if they are face washes, cleansing creams, they can clog the pores further. So you need something which is like a salicylic acid, which is lipophilic, which will dissolve the fat and unclog the pores. So that is number one. Do not forget your moisturizer. Just because you have PCOS and acne, you tend to leave your moisturizer away. What will happen is the skin will get drier and the oil glands will start to hyperfunction. Body has its own mechanism. So it will start producing more oil. So it becomes a vicious cycle. So use a water-based or a gel-based moisturizer. Your sunscreen. Do not opt for those creamy, heavy sunscreens, but you have amazing gel-based sunscreens, you have matte sunscreens, you have water-based sunscreens. So do not forget your sunscreen. That's another thing. Why? Because when you have acne and when they heal, you may end up with those blemishes and those marks. And that is why a sunscreen is important, because even if you have those blemishes, they will heal faster, sooner. So that's your day routine. Keep it very simple. Do not layer your face with, the Korean 10 skin care regime when you have acne. Then your makeup. So you have to use makeup which is non-comedogenic, very lightweight, liquid, oil-free, water-based foundations or concealers. Nothing heavy. Okay, because again, anything heavy will clog your pores. So that's your day routine. Your night routine should comprise of removing your makeup however tired you are. Very important. Okay, you don't want that makeup to sit and clog your pores further when you're sleeping. So removing your makeup, use a micellar water. For the eye you may use oil, but for the entire face use something which has micellar water. It will take off the makeup very well. Then use your face wash again. Okay, so that is double cleansing. Okay, so if you have acne and cystic acne and oily skin and PCOS, you need to double cleanse. Then over that you use whatever your doctor has prescribed. So we will either give you clindamycin or benzoyl peroxide or a retinol or one of these, creams which are specific to the kind of acne that you have. So use that and then top it with a gel-based moisturizer again. If you are using a retinol or something which is going to cause exfoliation. Otherwise, just let it be. You know, just a clindamycin with a niacinamide which your doctor has prescribed, use that and just let it be. So again, no layering your face at bedtime when you have acne. So this is when you have milder acne. If you have more severe form, we will give you oral medication, we will run you through the battery of tests and probably give you some hormonal medication. Now in my practice, I do not give hormones on my own. I just say go to the endocrinologist or go to the gynecologist, because they will give you something, and there is nothing wrong in taking what they are prescribing, because they know their job. Just because they have said take an oral contraceptive doesn't mean, oh, they have said something wrong. No.
Yeah.
You know, you need it. If you need it, you need it. Your body needs those hormones, you know. So that's how we go about it. And then of course, I think Neha, you know, nutritionists play a huge role. And you know, when it comes to PCOS. So I think, as I said, I send them to a nutritionist. So she's going to talk about, yeah.
So with acne, the first thing that I try to, you know, kind of target for a person is the gut health, because it's all coming from the gut. 90% of the times, it's inflammation of the gut. It's the poor microbiome. It's so all of it affects our gut microbiome, like the stress, the poor sleep. The toxic products we use, what we ingest, you know, the processed, chemicalized foods that we are eating today, the convenience foods. So all of these preservative loaded foods, like all your INS, ENS, all the names that you can't even pronounce, all those stuff, these all are highly hormone disrupting, because they kind of compete with your hormone and on the cell receptors. So, you know, first stopping and eliminating all processed food, because they feed the bad microbes in your gut. So the more population of the bad microbes that you have, the more inflammation you're going to have, the more leaky gut, the more IBS. And the more all of this is happening, your blood is toxic, and all of it is going to then affect your skin and is going to land up as acne. Obviously there's high testosterone, which is adding to the excess sebum and, you know, all of that. So that is already there, but the gut issues are like, you know, they're there, but most people don't address it.
And I think you're further stressing yourself out, so you're even breaking out more.
So a stressed gut is a stressed body, is a stressed skin. So eliminating everything refined. So refined oils, refined sugar, refined fat. So going into more healthier fats, cold pressed oils, less chemicals. Sugar alternatives, I don't put them off sugar, because obviously you need sweet. Sweet is a very important taste for your taste bud. You need to feel comforting and satisfied and satiated. So, but doing healthier sweets, so like doing jaggery, coconut sugar and things like that, no artificial sweeteners, no stevia, none of those, right? Because they're all very concentrated. And gluten is one factor which is affecting a lot of women today in PCOS, and that's out of the experience that I've seen, because it affects the gut. It just irritates the gut lining, and the minute we go off gluten and dairy, it all gets better. And even if they introduce gluten after that, they're like, Neha, I'm not doing good. My gut doesn't feel good, and my skin is flaring up. So just yesterday I had a client, and she said, I just had a glass of some milk which had all these additives in it, and you know, gluten is a very important additive also in a lot of foods and emulsifiers and all of that. And she's like, Neha, next day my skin flared up. All this while she said I stayed away from all these, you know, packaged foods and stuff, and this just happened. So this is what I've seen with clients. And obviously dairy is highly inflammatory.
What are the foods that you feel that you add into the diet, you know, to kind of clear out the
first
acne?
you eliminate. So first it's important to eliminate. You can't put off the fire by adding fuel all the time to it. You got to put off the fuel. You got to eliminate the fuel. So you're eliminating all these things which are first irritating your gut. And then you start gut healing herbs. So you do a lot of aloe vera. You do aloe vera juice. You do celery juice, you do ashgar juice, and then green smoothies. Like green smoothies are my staple. You got to have a green smoothie if you are with me, because it just has so many minerals, and it's so gut healing that, you know, one glass of it is so potent to kind of just heal all your gut issues and your skin issues at the same time. Replacing your gluten with all your whole grains, like your jawar, ragi, all the millets, quinoa, rice, brown rice, white rice, depends on the bloating and the gut issues. For some people who have bloating, you can't do brown rice because they won't be able to digest, it's too heavy. So then you do white rice, but then you do a salad with that. So things like that, you've got to make sure that they're getting their fiber in, because fiber is so important to feed the microbes, the good microbes in your gut, that you need to eat fiber in sort of every meal. And that helps to also cleanse. So again, making sure they're not constipated, because if they're constipated, the skin is definitely going to flare up. Because constipation is toxins. They're all the time reabsorbing toxins in their system if they're constipated. So taking care of all of that, and once you start healing it from that aspect and replacing the inflammatory foods, the acne starts getting much better. And obviously then, with that, the dermatologist helps externally, and with all the treatments like doctor said, that kind of together, and that amalgamation of these two treatments works so well for the skin that you don't really need anything above and beyond that, unless it's like too extreme.
No, but I will have to, say that a person will need some sort of medication. Okay, so you can't just rely on, if it's mild PCOS, as I said, yes, but otherwise you will need some form of medication, otherwise it doesn't calm down. So that is important. And not just externally, not just treating acne externally, internally. So oral medication, it. Oral medication, if you do not do that little course of maybe an Accutane or a little bit of minocycline, or a little bit of limecycline, or a little bit of aldactone, or a little bit of finasteride, whatever you do, it's not going to go. Right? I have had patients who've we eat the healthiest, we drink enough water, we sleep on time, we exercise, but they have lean PCOS. They still need that little added, support. And if I just give them some creams, it's not going to work. So it has to be from within. You need medicines, you have to take them. Okay? Do not worry about, what are the side effects? Always remember The Secret, the book. When you look at things in a positive way, you're not going to get side effects. You're not taking them lifelong. And every pathy has side effects. It's just allopathy is very transparent. And so you see, I have had patients who have had severe allergies to aloe vera. Severe. All right.
What do you do then?
So no, it's not that, so you've got to take everything with a pinch of salt. And as you also know, that just doing, sometimes just creams and tablets don't help. We need to do some treatments. We need to do a cryotherapy with a carbon dioxide, dry ice to calm your sebaceous gland secretion. You need to do some salicylic acid peels. You need to do a couple of treatments, blue light therapy, to calm the whole thing down. So it's like a full amalgamation of different things together. With a calmer mind.
It's also very case specific.
And yes, it is.
It's very, very
everything is bespoke. Whether it is PCOS or just routine skincare, every skin is unique.